What is going on, guys? It is UpperNimbus here, and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about hidden gems for the Nintendo Switch. I've always wanted to do a hidden gems video, never done it before, so finally getting around to it. And these games are going to be Nintendo Switch games that I believe are either really niche and obscure, or games that were once well known and have now fallen into obscurity. So if you do like what you see today, guys, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also hype that video as well. It really does help the channel, and it helps me as a small content creator to grow and have you here watching the videos and joining me on this journey. Let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to go into a little bit more of obscure territory, and thus I have chosen AI the Somnian Files. AI the Somnian Files was created from the same developers that did the Zero Escape series. The premise in AI the Somnian Files is that you're a detective who is on the hunt to solve the mysteries and crimes of people's eyes being ripped out of their eye sockets. It's a very peculiar scenario and setup for the game, but trust me, when you delve deeper into this game, it is quite intriguing of what is exactly going on. And the game's biggest feature, where you sync with the minds of characters that you wish to investigate matters further, you basically jump into their brains and you enter a sort of like virtual reality like segment, which is where all the intense puzzle solving happens. I absolutely love visual novels and puzzle games, and that is why AI the Somnian Files is definitely a 10 out of 10 game for me. I have to talk about Catherine Full Body. This game is absolutely made for a portable console. This is definitely something that you can easily find yourself laying in bed and relaxing for many hours on end, while deeply investing within the story and characters of Catherine Full Body. It does have some very heavy adult and ecchi themes. It's not actually a game that I would recommend playing in public. You know, it's kind of a game that, while it is very good and has an amazing story, great character development, the music is outstanding, this game is so addictive, and every twist and turn for the story, there are so many different pathways and avenues, different alternate endings. You can end up with a variety of different girls, well, 3 actually. Regardless of all the amazing things within Catherine Full Body, due to its heavy ecchi themes and its risque-like nature, this is something which I ended up playing behind closed doors, but it is a game I played a lot during the winter back in 2020. It was absolutely freezing down here in Australia when the game released in July of that year. The puzzle gameplay within Catherine Full Body, where you're climbing the blocks in Vincent's nightmare sequence, is absolutely addictive and also very challenging at the same time. It is something that I kept coming back to again and again, and I really wanted to power through that story and find out the truth behind each and every girl's alternate pathway and ending. I would say one of the most iconic, best visual novels out there is Clannad. So in Clannad, you take the role of Tomoya Okazaki, a very average high school student who is fed up with the town that he lives in. He doesn't really know what he wants to do in life, he doesn't have any direction, so that is why they throw a whole bunch of waifus at you to choose from and find your purpose in life, basically. Now, as a visual novel, there are branching pathways, meaning that depending what choices you make with the prompts that come up on screen, that will lead you down a specific path to court one of the girls. And of course, the goal of the game is to eventually go down every single path, date every single girl, help them with their troubles, their sorrows, their worries, their traumas of the past, and ultimately find the answer for who you are and what your purpose is. Having this game on the Nintendo Switch is absolutely perfect, because I do believe that the Nintendo Switch is ideal for visual novels. Being a portable system, visual novels, it's something you can boot up, play for a little bit, or even play for a good while. It's just the type of game to play portably, and absolutely a 10 out of 10 visual novel. So the fourth game is Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. That is a long title for a game. But this is also one of those other Wii U titles that eventually made its way over to the Nintendo Switch. I think this game came out in 2020, so the year of, well, you know, the pandemic. I love Tokyo Mirage Sessions so much. This is an awesome JRPG, and it's a turn-based JRPG with some relative traditional elements to it, but because this is a crossover between Fire Emblem and the Shin Megami Tensei series, and is obviously obviously developed by Atlus. It's basically just an SMT game featuring the Fire Emblem characters. And the really cool thing is that this is an original story. There are original characters to follow in this, with the main character being Tsubasa Oribe, or one of the protagonists I should say. There's also a male protagonist, but I kind of forgot his name. But as the main characters that you play in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, the Fire Emblem characters are your summons and your partner characters in battle. There's a lot of gameplay elements that come from Atlus turn-based JRPGs, and a lot of elemental abilities and powers that work as like a rock, paper, scissors combat system. I love the setting in this game being modern Tokyo, more specifically in Shibuya in Tokyo, Japan. But yes, this is definitely a 10 out of 10 game on the Nintendo Switch, and one of the best JRPGs for Nintendo platforms of modern times. So definitely sink your teeth into this one. You will have a lot of fun. And I also played through New Game Plus because that's how addictive this game was. And it's definitely a hidden gem. This is a game that is pretty hard to find now. So if you do find a copy, definitely pick it up. The game of Gun Gun Pixies is a third-person shooter, platformer, and visual novel video game published by Compile Heart. The game consists of elements of both adventure and stealth, as the player controls two tiny girls from outer space who visit planet Earth in order to study human behavior. The worldview is that of a small alien sneaking into a human girl's dormitory to observe their private lives, with the setting of levels in the game taking place in relatively large environments. The player is able to look at the girls from a doll-sized perspective from various angles. There are several goals within Gun Gun Pixies, such as collecting coins while avoiding being seen by the human girls, and when the player fails to find the necessary information for the mission, they will be tasked to shoot at the human girls with happy bullets. These so-called happy bullets raise the endorphin levels of the female victims, depending on which body parts are being targeted, which you can probably let your wildest imagination take a guess as to what those body parts entail. Gun Gun Pixies is a must-have for any collector of cultured Nintendo Switch games. The River City girls are ready for round 2. When an old foe returns for revenge, Misako, Kyoko, Kunio, and Riki, joined by newcomers Marion and Pruvi, hit the streets for an all-new beat-em-up adventure packed with new abilities, enemies, allies, locations, and much more. Team up for local or online co-op, then pound punks into the dirt with brand new guard crush attacks, lift off combos, elemental status effects, and other knuckle busting techniques. Level up to earn new moves, buy items and accessories in more than 40 shops, and recruit defeated foes and hired heavies to help you on your way. River City is bigger than ever, offering more areas to explore, more objects to destroy, and also a day and night cycle with non-linear gameplay, character-specific voiceovers, and another epic soundtrack by Megan McDuffie. River City Girls 2 will keep you brawling until all your enemies yell BARF! I just love the character designs in this game, and of course the gameplay looks incredibly fun and frantic as well, making this one of the perfect experiences for couch co-op play. Okie dokie, so we've got to talk about Snipper Clips. Now, Snipper Clips is one of the OG Nintendo Switch games that released all the way back in 2017. This game, of course, is a cooperative puzzle platformer, and we take the roles of Snip and Clip. See where they got their names from? Snipper Clips, Snip and Clip, you get it. And that's what you literally do in the game to solve the puzzles. You snip and clip one another to form different shapes which are suitable for the different puzzles and mechanics that you come across, and sometimes you have to cut out some of the most strangest and bizarre shapes from each other just to be able to reach or hit a certain switch or contraption. And the facial expressions on Snip and Clip are hilarious. Some of those faces they make are rather suggestive, I would say. So that is the general aesthetic of Snipper Clips, and it's just a really fun game, and it's something that I think is perfect for people who are wanting to play something really casual, really accessible, very fun, and it will definitely bring a smile to your face when you play this game. So couples and closest friends alike who are watching this video, I highly recommend that you play Snipper Clips. Okay, so the next game on this list, Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. Now, to be honest, I've played a lot of Taiko no Tatsujin on the arcade machines in said arcades, and I believe they are probably the best way to experience the Taiko no Tatsujin games. However, we do have Taiko no Tatsujin for the Nintendo Switch. We've got two of the games actually available on Switch, but I want to talk about Rhythm Festival Festival. Now this game does have quite a few DLC expansions, and it can get quite expensive paying for those licenses to get that additional music. However, if you are a completionist and someone who wants to be able to play all of the music available, then I'm sure the DLC purchase is well worth the buy. Now this game, Rhythm Festival, is something that is really fun to play with another person by your side. Unfortunately, my partner and myself weren't able to get the drum kit that comes with the Switch physical copy. Yeah, they kind of sold out pretty damn quickly, but we did get the standalone copy, and that is still quite a lot of fun, as you can play both button mode and also with motion controls. So if you do like your music and rhythm games, I highly recommend you get Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. Now, this is a visual novel that was released for the Nintendo Switch back in 2019. The story takes place in the small fictional Japanese town of Mihate. The game follows an unnamed male high school student who moves to the town and joins the school's mystery club. In this school club, he investigates the urban legend of the Yomibito, an event occurring every 100 years where corpses rise from the dead and rampage across the land. Investigation is spurred upon the realization that it has been 100 years since the supposedly last occurrence, and the unexplained recent deaths of the students of the school. Now, the really cool thing about this game is not only do the character portraits move, but also some of the background elements and the scenery also has some moving effects. This is a visually gorgeous visual novel, and it's one that I definitely want to get back into when I get the chance. This is a game which did not get a physical retail release here in Australia, and I do want to refer to the UK version of the game. And more specifically, with the UK version of World End Syndrome, I think you could only purchase it as the limited edition. I don't think you can get it standalone. I think it comes bundled with the art book, and that's why this game definitely has a bit of value behind it. So the final game is Voez for the Nintendo Switch. Now I think Voez initially started out as a mobile game, but it did find its way over to the Nintendo Switch very, very early on in this system's lifespan. Voez was one of the earliest games you could get digitally on the eShop, and straight away, because I'm a sucker for anime aesthetics, I saw the cute girl as like the game cover art, and I was like, whoa, okay, what is this Voez game? And I clicked on it, I found out it was a rhythm game, and I already liked my rhythm games, even though I'm not good at every single rhythm game. But luckily, Voez is one of the few rhythm games out there which I'm actually fairly decent at. There's tons of EDM tracks, and because I'm someone who loves EDM in general, the game was built for me basically. The other cool thing about Voez is that it has no microtransactions. Everything was there. The base game had plenty enough content as it was, and it's that addictive gameplay loop which just brings me back in, and I want to keep just playing it over and over again, especially when the music is so catchy and so deadly to listen to. Voez has got to be one of the best rhythm games I've ever played, so I'm really happy I could represent the rhythm genre on this list, and that is why Voez is another 10 out of 10 Nintendo Switch game. So what did you guys think about my list of hidden gems for the Nintendo Switch? Do you agree with the games that I picked today in this video? Do you think that they are hidden gems? Do you think they fall into the realm of obscurity? Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also, naturally, I do want to hear which games you guys personally think are hidden gems. So once again, if you did like today's video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And once again, hype that video as well. Really appreciate having you guys on board, and I can't wait to share more videos with you in the future. So that'll be everything for today's video. Once again, I appreciate your support, and I will catch you on the flip side. UpperNimbus is signing off.